The World Health Organization's classification for FGM, female genital mutilation, is all procedures which involve partial or total removal of the female external genitalia or any other injury to the female genital organs for non-therapeutic reasons.
FGM is a female genital mutilation, and it's practiced in many countries in Africa. The last statistics shown by the UNICEF is more than 150 million women across the world, and mainly in Africa and Middle East. It's around 29 countries practicing the FGM.
Female genital mutilation, known as FGM, can also be known as cutting, Suna, the Bundu Society, female circumcision, and Angora cuts.
When I went to Kenya, what I saw amongst the girls that had undergone FGM was that they wanted to continue their education and not just be a wife. One girl, Kate, told me how her father wanted her to undergo FGM at the age of 12 for her to then be married to one of the village elders who was well respected. She stole 500 shillings, which is not a lot in terms of English money, and she, from the Masai Mara, she travelled by foot into Nairobi, which is Kenya's capital, and from there she got a taxi to Nairok, which is a little village, but she didn't have a lot, so she had to, she jumped the taxi actually, and then she went to the child services officials, and from there she was directed to Mission with a Vision.
I was 8 to 9 years old when I had my FGM. So we went alone, me and my stepmother. We walked for quite a long, maybe 45 minutes. When we get to the bush, because they do it in the bush, not in the city center, in the bush, and I saw some of my friends standing there. Yes, so I'm thinking, oh, why everyone is here? Automatically, I said maybe she's selling me, or maybe they're going to kill us because she's not my mother. You know, a lot of negative thing comes on my head.
There are 4 types of FGM. Type 1, clitoridectomy, which is a partial or total removal of the clitoris and/or prepuce. There's type 2, which is the excision, that is partial or total removal of the clitoris and labia minora, with or without excision of the labia majora. And then there's type 3, which is the infibulation, which is narrowing the vaginal orifice with the creation of a covering by cutting and exposing the labia minora or majora, with or without removing the clitoris. And then there's type 4. Type 4 is all of the above, with the addition of pricking and piercing, scratching the clitoris and labia, scraping of the tissue, introduction of corrosion substances to cause bleeding and tightening of the vagina.
So I was just standing there with fears. When they asked us to kill, then I remember asking my stepmother, please, can I have water? Because I think I'm going to die. They're going to kill me. Before I die, let me get a glass of water. And she said, no, there's no water here for you. I said, okay. I didn't ask why, because I'm not allowed. Then I gave up. They took the first girl. And then when they caught her, then I heard her screaming. I said, oh my God, this is end of our lives. Till my own turn come. When my own, they took me and then they had it down. It's really painful because they will cut you without injecting you to deaden the body. So they will cut you and then they will ask you to stand and then dance while you are on pain. You bleed a lot. Sometimes you bleed to death because I know some people, they don't survive. They use these native leaves. They don't give you even paracetamol. You know, the native leaves, they use that to mend the wound. And that is really, really painful. It's like Scottish hot pepper. When they put it and you can't stop them. So after 2-3 days, they will take you back to examine you if it's cut properly. If it's not, you have to go the same procedure again.
There are no health benefits whatsoever, only harm when it comes onto FGM, and it harms girls and women in many ways. It involves removing and damaging healthy and normal female genital tissue and interferes with the natural function of girls' and women's bodies alike. Immediate complications can include severe pain, shock, hemorrhaging, which is extensive bleeding, tetanus, or sepsis, which is bacterial infection, urine retention, open sores in the genital region, and injury to nearby genital tissue. Emotional and psychological harm is detrimental to the young women and to the girls.
It's not a religion, it's not a normal culture, because some of the communities within African countries, they didn't practice in FGM.
It's not in the Quran, it's not in the Bible. It's just cultural thing. They believe that women should go Bondo society or FGM to keep the woman clean. But all that is just, it's wrong. Since that thing is there, the FGM, I had it done, we never go because it always flash me back, and then having problem like going out with man, sometimes like men come on my way, but if I think about that, I don't want to go out because that man will never understand. Even I explain it, we say, oh, you don't love me, you don't this. No, it's not that, it's because I have sickness that I can't bend anymore.
There's long-term physical consequences, which can include recurrent bladder and urinary tract infection, cysts, infertility, death, HIV, septicemia, and an increased risk of childbirth complications and infant mortality.
They use knife, and that knife they use, if it's 10 people, they will use that same knife to cut all of us, yes. You can have HIV or, lot of sickness, disease on that.
So I think if we can be courageous and be brave, male or female, whether it be in our own communities or outside, that we call out this abuse, because it's not just physical but psychological and can have great impacts in further down generations, because the woman may feel it's correct, it was fine for me to have it, so I should probably allow my daughter to have it as well.
Procedures are mostly carried out on babies, young girls up to the late teens, and occasionally on adult women. In Africa, more than 3 million girls have been estimated to be at risk from FGM annually. But it doesn't happen here. Yes, it does. Contrary to belief, this abuse happens within the UK.
And this is a horrific statistics. And if we talk about it's far away from Europe. It's not far away. Also, statistics show there are more than 500,000 women and girls in Europe are also suffering the complication of FGM.
What I learned from my experience with the girls who had undergone or fled FGM was courage and bravery, having to detach myself from what is seen as the norm in society to actually call out what is abuse. And I think we have to do that over in the Western world, because we are under the impression that it's just something in the developing country, but yet it is actually going on within this privileged society we live in.
As practicing communities migrate to the UK, the abuse becomes more prevalent. Awareness has to be raised, knowledge shared, and legalities given. Female genital mutilation is an illegal practice within the UK and is not condoned for any reason. If FGM is suspected and/or disclosed, please contact any of the following: Children's Social Care, Adult Social Care, Police, and any recognised supporting organisation.
FGM should stop, and it doesn't matter if it's Africa or here, we are all one.